Hello, welcome back. My name is Holly-Beth and today I want to officially start and cast on my next big knitting project, which is the Anemone sweater. I have to say I started off saying this sweater's name wrong for like the longest time because I am dyslexic and I would mix up letters when they didn't need to be there. So you may hear the way that I pronounce and say the name of the sweater change throughout the video, and it's because of that. This is a pattern by Pernille Larsen and is a beautiful all over stranded colourwork sweater of a repeating flower motif. It is knit bottom up and I'm going to be using a bunch of different yarns for this, including some from my stash, so I'll get into that as we go through the month as there's quite a lot of them. So I hope that you'll want to join me with this adventure of my first all over colourwork knitting sweater project. Let's go! Have just finished the body and I was and ahhing as to whether to do another flower before starting that, and I decided against it, and I hope that was the right decision. I'm following the pattern. I was kicking myself about it for a long time and I thought, you know what, it's gonna be fine anyway. But I have just earlier found off the stitches for the underarm and I have got honestly quite far on this next chart repeat. Quite happy with that. There are a lot of places where you have, there's like 7 stitches in between, which is where I did the ladderback jacquard method, and I'm quite happy with it. Actually, this is the first time I'm actually looking at this. It don't look that bad. Whilst I had all my yarn out, I thought that I could go through that for this because I haven't done that yet.
You have to excuse the state of me and my hair and my voice. I have been sick and there's been a lot going on in my family. It's a little bit all over right now, but I haven't done a check-in for a little while, both just in this month and also on this project. I realise I'm also halfway through a row while doing this, so that's probably not particularly smart. This is how my green is doing. So I've got quite a bit, but it's a bit of a donut right now. And then this is like what my green alpaca is looking like. I had to wind it up because it was driving me insane. I don't remember how many I have it in my little pouch, but I'm also getting a little bit low on this white as well. Mohair's doing alright right now. I have finished the front. This is the front and the two shoulders. That's what that's looking like. I've done like the both sides like this. When I was doing the underarm, I didn't know if I wanted to add another row. I didn't know if it was going to be long enough or big enough, and I'm now worried it is going to be too big. Just in general, I feel like it's going to be quite a big jumper, which is what I wanted. I think it's just those pre-project nerves getting to me. Hopefully it'll be okay. I am just on the back panel right now, so I picked my stitches back up, got them off the holder. This is my second flower motif since splitting for the armpit. I am really happy with how it's going. Once I got to like the neckline, I was like, I've only got the shoulders and the back to do. I was like, oh yeah, like we're zooming, and then like now I've got onto the back. This is going so slow. And I still have both arms to do. Just going off of the picture, I don't know what size this is, but 1, 2, I might have genuinely 10 flowers to do, like repeats. It's kind of a lot. It's a big project. I am really happy that I started this now. I started it back in March. I am really happy that I have such an involved project with so much colour given everything that's going on. I think it's a very colourful project. I think it's a very positive project. I'm nervous, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. The neckline seems absolutely huge, though I will say. I'm really hoping that it's gonna sort itself out. I always feel like this. I feel like I remember that the necklines are always huge, and then once you pick up the stitches and you do the ribbing, it's not so bad. So fingers crossed. Oh, one thing I will say as well, I hadn't quite anticipated how little yarn that the flowers would use. I'm hardly using anything, and I know that that was going to be the case, but I don't know, I just thought I would use up more than that. I'm gonna have so much yarn left over of the different colours, so I might have to make the matching baby jumper. Also maybe the slipover. The child slipover version is also quite sweet. That's actually the first pattern that I saw was actually the vest. Child's vest. I don't think there is an adult vest yet still. Obviously I haven't done the sleeves yet. We'll see. I think as well, just like preempting ahead, the sleeves, like they're quite small in the ribbing. I think I might change that. So it brings the sleeve in just a tad and it becomes a bit more bell-like rather than being these massive oversized sleeves. Just because I think I might like that a bit more. Kind of like what my chill jumper is. I like how that looks. And my storm sweater, actually, I really like how that looks. Hopefully I can finish this jumper. Like my goal is that I want to have this finished by Easter, and today is the 12th of April and Easter is next week, a week tomorrow. I don't know how confident I am, but if I can get this finished, like the whole back and joined by the end of Monday, today's Saturday, that could be quite nice to get that done in the next 2 days. I'm just working on the light blue. After that I have 2 more colours and then the third colour, which is the one that joins at the top. I still have 3 more colours after the one I'm doing, which is quite a lot, but I genuinely think that I can get that done by the end of Monday, assuming of course I don't get any more sick like I was a few weeks ago. Hopefully I can get that done, and then I'm on the right track to have the sleeves done by the end of the week. And like I would like to wear this for Easter, so blocked and dried as well. So basically finished by Friday. Even then that's pushing it to get it dry, but so yeah, that's my thought. That's my process. I feel like that's doable. Get a sleeve done Tuesday, Wednesday, sleeve done Thursday, Friday. Get all the ends weaved in. I'm really nervous about that because if I show you how this is looking. So that's the section where everything's in a round. It is ends central. And then when you get to the flat parts, it doesn't get better. There are so many ends to weave in. There's something that people say on Ravelry on the project is that it's like the project of 100 ends, and genuinely I think that might be true, and I think I might count them and weave them in with you if I can do that and remember, because I'd like to see exactly how many ends I have at the end of this, because I don't think I weaved in a single one whilst I've been going. I might regret that. So maybe I might actually have to get the sleeves done in 3 days. It's going to be a very warm jumper. I don't think I'm going to be able to wear it that much in England, but I will be able to take it over to Norway with me when I travel and visit there, and I feel like I'll be able to wear it there quite happily and comfortably. So it's cute though. It's looking real cute. I'm really excited. give a bit of an update. I've just sewn together the shoulders on the right side, which means that the body, as far as the knitting goes, is done. So I'm going to try it on and let's see how it looks. So my waist is here, and then like my hips, it's kind of like in the middle of my hip, and there's quite a lot of room still, meaning that I'm kind of expecting it to grow a bit, hopefully not too much longer. The neckline, I have thought this over and over and over again whilst knitting it. The neckline is very big. I'm a bit concerned about that, but I'm hoping that with a bit of elastic and a really chunky collar, it'll be okay. And the neckline is the next thing I'm going to do anyway, so because I always like to do the neckline and then move on to the sleeves. But as you can see, the comments on Ravelry don't lie. It is very much end central. There are there's gonna be a lot of sewing to do, but hey, I can actually officially hold it up, which is exciting. It's gonna be very cute. Yeah, that's my update. It's currently inside out, which I will give a moment to show how it is looking inside out, because it looks absolutely crazy. Look at all of those ends. Last time I did a check-in, I had just finished the shoulders and I was trying it on. Now I have knit the neckline, which I think I am happy with. I wasn't sure if I was, but I think I am. And then this is how far I am on the first sleeve. The goal that I set for myself was to have this finished Thursday this week, so that I could get all of the many thousands of ends weaved in on Friday, so that I can get it washed and blocked from Friday, and hopefully it would be ready for Sunday, which is Easter Sunday. Today is Wednesday, meaning that I need to get these sleeves done by the end of tomorrow. I'm not feeling that confident that I can do that. Hello, it's been a while since we last spoke. I have just done a bit of recording for my April month, but also I need to update you on this, because she's actually done, or almost. She's got sleeves and cuffs and a neckline and the body, so she's done. But I wanted to catch up, because I haven't catched up in a while, and also just go through a few things that are in my head about this sweater in general. Let's go through this. I'm not sure exactly how you say this, but when I put it into Google, it was Anemone, but I forgot that I had my Norwegian keyboard standard language on. So that could just be the Norwegian way to say it, in Norwegian English at least. So the Anemone sweater, it is a knitting for olive pattern. I will put the designer name on the screen, because for the life of me, I can't remember what it is right now. It is a top-up colourwork sweater. It's really nice. Just very quickly, because I do touch on this on my April video, I exclusively worked on this throughout April. I did not pick up a single other project in the whole month of April. So it's the end of April today. There's reasons for that. One of them being that I unfortunately lost my granddad, and the whole month has just been a whole whirlwind, organising things, etc. And I didn't have the headspace, so this has been a exclusively singular knit
for me. I finished knitting it. Actually, I finished knitting it yesterday. I cast off the sleeves on the way down to the airport on Monday at 3 o'clock in the morning because I was so desperate to wear this and I was a little bit behind. So I literally just put the thread through and it was probably maybe this long at the time of travel. I undid that and picked it all back up and finished the sleeves yesterday. I am currently in Norway, so I will have a really lovely month here and it's really good timing and I'm very lucky. I'm really excited to spend this time with my fiance. But in theory I finished this here, but it's not 100% finished because even though it looks lovely, I will just turn it inside out. I need to weave in like a million ends, and yes, that's an exaggeration, but it really doesn't feel like it. I think there is easily 100 ends. This is the back, that's the side, this is the sleeve, and yeah, the bottom. And then obviously I've got like random bits where I've rejoined yarn. But I attempted something yesterday night because I thought, oh, maybe it might make my life a bit easier. I tried to do some sort of like braid where I wouldn't have to weave in like 1,000 ends, and I don't hate it, but I also don't think it's right for this project. Firstly, this is a very oversized jumper, especially for me as well. The sleeves are huge and I don't know if they're a bit too big, honestly. And this is the pattern in general, like I think they might be a bit too big, but anyway, they're done, so we're gonna do it. My version is knit in drops alpaca for all of the colours and the main colour, except from one, which is a woolly knit 4-ply merino cone, and that's the dark blue, and then it's held with mohair, so all of it's held with mohair. It's loads of different mohairs. I will go through exactly what yarns they are properly and with finishing weights when I am back in England, I think, because the one thing I forgot to do was weigh all of the yarns that I was finished with when I was packing on Sunday night. I think the combination of it being extremely oversized where you can probably see down my sleeve, and also that it's a very lightweight yarn. The braid is very bulky, and they, you know, people tell you that, but I don't think it's right for this project. I'd probably get used to it, but like I can feel it and I don't like that. I think there's a good chance that I'm going to undo this braid. I didn't really do it up properly because I wasn't really sure. But I was thinking to myself, I spent so much time knitting this, the whole month, more than a month, like a month and a half. Why am I shortcutting? Yes, this is going to take me days to do, but why am I shortcutting on the ends when it doesn't look that nice, and also it's not gonna sit as nice as I want it to? I think I'm just gonna take the L and weave in these ends. Also, I want to try and count them. So I will count them as I go. I'll make a tally because I'm just actually interested specifically how many ends there are, because it is a continuous colour work, and I decided to chop the green because I just didn't want to have to deal with 3 colours for more than one row every time, so I also have the green to deal with as well. So I still have all the ends like for the sleeves and stuff, which I usually tuck in straight away, but I didn't. Yeah, lesson learned. Next time I do all over colour work or just colour work in general, I will be weaving my ends in as I go because this is mental. It's crazy. That was my update though. I will say, so far, it hasn't been blocked yet, but I'm really happy with my tension. My tension is quite tight up here, but then it gets a little bit more even as I go because I was doing the Norwegian knitting technique. I did do my standard English technique on the ribbing because that was too much for me to process. I did in fact do my ladder back jacquard technique for carrying the floats. Overall, I am really happy and I'm really excited to get it washed and blocked. I'm nervous. I will continue to record a few bits here and there, and then I will do a final update probably more towards the end of the month when I get back in England. But first I have to weave in all of these ends, and then we will have a catch up and talk about how many there actually were. Hi, hello. Today's May 1st, but I didn't really get a chance to properly do an intro to this next month, so I think I'm going to focus on doing that tomorrow. But as of tonight, I have just finished weaving in all of the ends, so this is inside out, all of the ends from this jumper. 0 ends left to weave in. It's all weaved in individually. It's taken me the last 2 days to do it. I made a tally. Would you like to know how many ends there was in this jumper? I'll let you take your guess. So I think the last time I checked in was yesterday and I had 78. Just on the front, I have broken it down in colours and I'll give you a second. So I had 78 ends just on the front alone, which is when I checked in. And just on the green colour alone, the whole jumper was also 78. That's a lot. That's a lot of ends. In total, I had 30 ends of the off-white. This was my main colour. I had 78 of the green, 20 ends weaved in on the yellow, 16 ends of the dark blue. I counted 14 ends of the rust colour. There was 10 ends of the light blue. The light blue was the least used colour of all of these. And then I had 14 ends of the pink. So the same amount of ends for the rust and the pink. Somehow the dark blue had 2 more ends. That might be because I cut the yarn, readjoined it at some point. But in total, that means that there was a grand total of 182 ends that I've just weaved in the last 2 days on this sweater. That's a lot of ends. Plus I had to undo the braid that I did, which I'm really glad I did. This looks so much better than having a braid at the bottom. It looks really good. I should probably show you the actual jumper rather than just showing you the interior, like the floats and the leather bag jacquard. Bear with me. But yeah, it's finished. And it's really cute. I made modifications, which I will go through when I do my final wrap-up of it. But I really wanted to show what it looked like before blocking, for starters as well. I imagine the neckline is going to stretch out a bit, so I'm going to probably need elastic. Ooh, but she is finished as far as everything I can do right now. So I'm going to go wash this, leave it in soak, keep an eye on it, just in case of colour bleeding as well. But it should be fine. Get it blocked. That's my update. 182 ends.
Okay, so I got home from Norway last night. Obviously, whilst I was there, I finished this absolute beauty. Please excuse the absolute mess in here. I'm currently unpacking. I store yarn in here when I'm not using it. All of this yarn here needs to go back into here. So when I'm away and then I come back, I always get this spurt of energy, and I think it's a case of like, I need to have some function in my life. I need to know exactly where everything is. I need to organise everything. I know what I've got. But anyway, I finished this jumper and I also need to work out before I put this yarn away, or specifically these yarns, I need to work out how much I used of all of these colours so I can 1, finish off my Ravelry page, and 2, so I can put these yarns away so that they're done. So I thought that together we could weigh them and finish off this chapter basically, and then I will do a final video with how this went once I have finally washed and blocked it, and also given it a very deserved depill because I have worn it because I was so excited to wear it that I just wore it. And I'm now going to work out roughly how much yarn each colour took and how much yarn I have left. That's what we're going to do now. I'm going to write down the weights, even though I have you guys right there to keep me accountable with how much it actually is. in this I like to do totals instead, so I can type in the amount of grams. So this is this yarn here. In a gram total, we used, let's go to the pink, we used 6 grams of that pink. So that's done. Actually, maybe I'll go through these as I go, actually. I will say this yarn was really lovely to work with. I really loved the colour of this pink. It's the same yarn that I used for the main colour. Honestly, it was really lovely to work with. Really happy with it. I got this on sale and I bought this in Norway. Possibly on my second trip there. So this would have been like 2022, I think. So I've had this in my stash for a while, and I got really excited because I was using stash yarn, but 6 grams, it's not that much, but it's better than nothing. And it looks really nice with the pink of this jumper. So I really, really love this yarn. I think it was really nice. It's really soft. The colour was really nicely done. I think it's a very fairly priced yarn for what you get. Yeah, so that's that one. Next on my list here, this is going to be jumping around, of course, is the Drops Kid Silk. I mean, it's a very good yarn for the price point. I have learned that it's not my favourite to work with, and I also have learned that that's down to the colour. I've had some that are really soft, and I've also had some that are a bit more scratchy, like one that I'm using right now on my porcelain. I think that's in the colour chalk, the off-white colour, and it's not that soft if I'm honest, but it looks really nice. But yes, so this is leftovers from my novice sweater. Just my novice sweater? Have I used it for anything else? I don't think so. No, I just used it in my novice sweater. And this is what I had left over. 1.52 skeins, I had 38 grams. I didn't touch this one, so just in this blue, I used 6 grams of this mohair, and it's getting pretty thin, honestly. I think we're doing alright. So that's that one. The next one on our list is Alpaca 100 is the colour, which is this one here. This is our main colour, enter totals instead. We worked out that we used 281 grams. Next we have colour 9038. This is the green. In total, the green alpaca, we used 90 grams. Weight, that is the yellow colour. The yellow, we used 20 grams. Oh, I wasn't typing. Orange Merle, I think this is probably our rust. The rust colour, we used 15 grams. 9034, it's quite self-explanatory, it's the pink. We used 15 grams. The light blue, we used 11, and then we get into the other bits. So we've got the Viking of Norway Kid Silk. Obviously, of course, this isn't finished yet. So far, we have used 117 grams. So the Drops Alpaca, I would say, is a fantastic yarn. I think it's lovely to work with. It's super soft. It's really nice and floofy. Overall, fantastically priced. It's super cheap, honestly, actually. I think it's a really great yarn to work with. And I will and have plans and have used it since as well. So yeah, I think it's a really great yarn, the Drops Alpaca. And then just as before, the Viking yarn, same feelings with it. I wish that the colours were the same dye lot, but that is what it is. And it was a bit more grey than I was expecting. I was expecting more, maybe something a bit closer in a beige colour. It worked out okay. I think it looked really nice on the jumper. There is a slight marling in the jumper with the mohair and the alpaca, but I think it's okay. Moving on, we have the dark aquamarine. In the mohair, we used 28 grams. This yarn is not the cheapest, if I'm honest. It's probably depends on where you get it from. I got it from Linda Hobby, but it was on sale at the time, and I'm so glad I got to try it because it is honestly such a beautiful yarn. It's really soft. The colours are unbelievable. I mean, look at that blue. This is what sold me, is this cornflower blue, and the rust as well. Like, the colours are wonderful. The fluff, I think, is just the right amount, and when you compare this to the Drops, there is a significant difference between how silky it looks and feels. So this is 100% worth the money, in my opinion. The Mayflower Super Kid Silk, really good. So next colour is 86. It is looking like that is probably a blue in the preview. We used a grand total of 3 grams. In the rust colour, we used 3 grams as well. And the Lana Grossa, we used 9 grams. The yellow was the thing that we used the most in the jumper. This yarn was really nice. It's probably a little bit closer to the Drops mohair, but also still feels a little bit softer. Also, it was a really lovely colour to work with. I think the colour match between this and this worked really well. You can definitely see that there's a difference in colour, but I think it worked out just fine. I think it's a real lovely mohair. I don't think, for the money that it is, I don't think I would buy it again unless there was this very specific colour I was looking for. That's one of the reasons I bought this one in particular, was the colour match for the curry colour was really nice. So yeah, that's my opinions on the yarns and how I feel about them. And as of right now, that does mean that we can finish off how much yarn this took. The only thing we didn't fill in is the woolly knit, because we don't know. And also the sand colour, the main colour, also unfinished with the swatch. That means we have everything in our database now. So we used 5.62 skeins of the main colour alpaca, we used 1.8 of the green alpaca, and also 4.68 skeins of the main colour mohair. And then of course merino wool we can't fill in right now because we don't know what cone we had to start with, because I did not write that down. Yeah, that's all the totals. That's everything for this sweater here. Now I can pack this away. This took a lot longer than I anticipated, so I'm gonna get that done. I'm gonna get them packed away, get the rest of this yarn out my way, and go through the rest of the stuff. We've got some catching up to do. This is the topic of right now. It is the... Right, I have an issue. I don't know how to say this sweater. I thought it was anemone when I first saw it. Anemone. Which is a word I've always struggled with anyway. You can ask my stream, very much to the case. And then I put it into Google, and then I got Anemone, which is like the Norwegian way of saying it in Norwegian English, at least. When I tried to then translate it back into English, it was like anemone. So I just didn't know. I have a feeling it probably is anemone, but I've stuck to it now. I've committed, and I'm just going to use the Norwegian translation for it. Knitting for Olive is Danish anyway, so that's what I'm going with. So however you pronounce this sweater, however you want to pronounce it, however you think I may be saying it wrong, I probably am, just to be clear about it. I don't really know what else to call this sweater, except from that I just love it. This sweater itself, it is knit in a bunch of different yarns, which you would have seen me point out every single yarn, put it into my Ravelry database, fill out this thing on Ravelry, and also how much everything took of each colour in this jumper. So let's firstly go through what it looks like. This is how it looks. This is it fully blocked and dry. Very exciting. I do think the sleeves have grown. I am feeling them in my fingers now rather than where they were before, which was maybe here. But now they seem to be covering most of my finger, which is fine. It does seem to have grown a tad in length, but honestly not so much that it's an issue. It's definitely less dense now it's been blocked. It's a bit more flowy, as you'd expect from alpaca. I do think as well that blocking it has solved some of the fit issues. Before I had this really, I mean it's kind of still there, the fit issues. It's coming all the way up here, but this side seems to be doing what it's supposed to. So the fit issues themselves seem to have blocked out. They seem to have. It still fits fine. It is oversized, and it's not as oversized as I thought it was going to be, but this is basically what I wanted. The sleeves are really quite huge, to be honest. The neckline seems to be okay. I haven't put any elastic in it, and it's still sitting possibly as it should, so that's really good. It looks really good. I don't know if you can see as well on the back. I think what I was saying about the neckline is that it is still true. I do think the neckline is too big, because although it looks right here, it does pull a bit, and blocking has helped relax that a bit, but you can see that it's just blocking a little bit. It looks okay at the front, but as soon as you get towards the back, which I'll put a little B-roll in over the top, it's just pulling in a really not nice way considering this colour work. You wouldn't really be able to tell if the colour work wasn't there. So looking back as well, I'm really happy I didn't do the braid method to seal in all your yarn ends. I'm really glad that I spent the 2 days that I did whilst I was in Norway to weave in every single one of the 182 ends. I'm still really happy I did that. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. I think it looks really cool. The stitches have definitely relaxed
in blocking, it's so soft and it just feels really airy. It just doesn't feel as heavy, and I think a lot of that was, let's be honest, let's be real with each other, it's probably a lot of dirt that came out in this as well from where I was knitting it. I also brought it abroad, and then I was also wearing it before washing and blocking it after as well. So I think all of that contributed to it being really quite dirty without even realising it, without even looking at it. I think that's the reason why it also feels so much lighter now. Also, one thing I possibly might have touched on, I haven't quite got to the end of my editing yet, but the flower motif, it's going the wrong way. The flower motifs on the body are, so you knit it bottom up, meaning that the flowers end up having a V in the middle, and then also it means the bottom of the leaves are also in a V. It's a bit neater on the leaves, but then when you get to the sleeves, because the sleeves are knit top down, you can see that they are reversed, so you then have almost like an A here. The green, it might be too light for you to see, but again, it's more of an A, so it's not a big deal, but it is something that I do notice when I wear it. Take that information as you will. Also, the pickup is a bit weird. I think that's because they have you do colour work all the way to the edge. I think it would have been better to omit just the last stitch of colour work and just have it as plain. That means you don't get this weird colour scenario going on here when you're picking up stitches. That's really bad there. Yeah, there's that. I knit the size 4, which is the size medium, and yeah, so let's go into modifications. So modifications I did, decreased the length of the sleeves by a motif. So this is supposed to go pink, dark blue, yellow in my size, and I got rid of that last one because it was it would have, look at this, it would have just been too long. I decreased that. Granted, my ribbing is longer than what's specified in the pattern. I didn't quite check how long the ribbon is, but I think it's probably only something like maybe 10 rows or something. So I did a lot longer on the ribbing. The ribbon's only supposed to be like this big. I've done it a lot longer. I did just a regular cast off in pattern. I did the sleeves differently in regards to the decreasing. They're supposed to be as big as the sleeve itself, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted there to be some sort of bell scenario because that would have been quite unwearable under jackets and everything, and considering it's quite a warm jumper, the sleeves are already quite wide as they are. They have pinged back in blocking, but they are already quite wide. You can see all the way down there right now. I actually decreased 20 whole stitches when I wasn't supposed to. There was supposed to be 100, but I ended up with 80. I just really wanted it to be slightly tapered, which I think I got. Everything to do with the body is the same as in the pattern. I didn't increase or decrease the length. I didn't increase or decrease the amount of motifs, so the same thing basically. I did the same amount of ribbing as well at the bottom, and I'm pretty sure I did the same amount for the neckline. I think the problem with the neckline, I think what maybe would have been better is to have picked up more stitches than I said, and then do decrease rounds maybe, just so it didn't pull so weird, because then it could have been more of like a gradual, I don't know, something for future me to think about. But yeah, that's it. It's done. It took a whole extra month than it needed to for it to be blocked. Yeah, because now we're in July, which is ridiculous. I'm really glad that I took the time to make this. I do think it's really nice, and I do have plans to make some smaller versions as well. I have so much yarn left over, like a ridiculous amount. Some of the yarns that I didn't have the colours for, I bought 2 in each colour, and I didn't even use like a quarter of one ball, so I have far too much alpaca now, but it's okay. So as we're here, let's go into yarn, and then I think that's everything we need to talk about when it comes to this beautiful jumper. It's like a little hug. It's really lovely. Talking about yarn, as I have done a whole segment where I went through what the yarns were, what the brand was, what the colour was, including the colour code, I think I'm going to leave that bit out now, but I will leave the same information down in the description, so the yarn information, the yarn brands with the colour name and the colour code, just so it's in the description as well, because I think that's kind of nice to have. So I'm just going to run through it super quick now. I'm just going to basically say the colour and then the alpaca mohair, because otherwise it's going to be very long because there is a lot of different numbers and things like that, and my dyslexia can't take it. So we're just going to do a very final roundup right now. The main colour, which is the off-white, in the alpaca I used 281 grams. In the mohair I used 117 grams. In the green, so that's the next one I use the most of, in the alpaca I used 90 grams. In the mohair I used 28 grams. And then we'll go to the contrast colours, and I don't believe these are in order of how much I used of them, or I guess they are actually. So firstly, the yellow here, the alpaca I ended up using 20 grams, and the mohair I used 9 grams of yarn. Next is the pink, so this pink here, this was 15 grams of alpaca and 6 grams of the mohair. The dark blue, we're literally going in order here, that's the only one that wasn't alpaca. This was the woolly knit merino 4-ply. I used 15 grams of that, I worked out in the end, and 6 grams of the mohair that went with it. And then rust colour, so popping it back up again, the rust colour, I used 15 grams of the alpaca, 3 grams of the mohair. I'm not quite sure why there was so little mohair. I think it could be fair to say that maybe I had a ball that had way more than 25 grams in that mohair skein, because when you look at the light blue, which is the final colour we need to talk about, in the alpaca I used only 11 grams, and in the mohair I used 3. So we can assume for the rust mohair that I probably used between 3 and 6 grams, probably, but maybe my mohair skein had more in to begin with. I am going to be getting better at weighing my skeins of yarn before I use them, because then I can get a more accurate result as to exactly how much yarn in grams I would use on a specific project. But yeah, so in total that used 604 grams of yarn to make this whole colourwork sweater. And obviously the main colour, you'd need the fair amount for the whole jumper itself, but in my opinion you really could do this with scraps. I don't see why you couldn't, because you need so little to do the motifs. You could do it all in one colour. There's some versions on Ravelry that look amazing with just the main colour, the green, and then just one contrast throughout. That looks really good. That's this sweater. That it's done, it's finished, and I just absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. I love it so much. And I'm really happy that I knit it. It was definitely a bucket list knit item, and I did it, and I love it. That's going to bring us to the end of this project vlog of this crazy jumper that took me on a journey from all different emotions, all different times, all different life events. It's one that I hold very dear to my heart now, even more so than before. So if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!